This morning, before the world fully awakens, I invite you to take a deep breath and surrender to a sacred moment. This is a morning prayer inspired by Psalm 40, for those tired of waiting, for those who feel like they're at the bottom of the pit, for those who need to hear that God is still listening. If your heart carries pain, doubts, or nearly forgotten hopes, this prayer is for you. Allow yourself to experience this encounter with the God who leans down, who listens, who rescues, who sets your feet upon solid ground and gives you a new song. May this prayer embrace you like a warm hug and renew your soul. Lord God, this morning I come before you with all that I am, with what I carry in my chest, with what I hide in the silence of my tears, with the thoughts that scream and the feelings that hide. I come with my doubts, with my still fragile hopes, with my sometimes trembling but real faith. I come with my human heart, full of scars and full of thirst, because I know that you are the God who does not reject those who come with sincerity. You are the God who does not despise a broken heart, who does not ignore a weary spirit. You are the God who leans down to hear the cry of those who no longer know how to ask for help. Today, I am here, waiting for you, waiting patiently, even though the waiting sometimes hurts. And I know you are leaning in. I know you hear. I know. There is not a single cry from my soul that goes unnoticed before your love. I waited patiently for the Lord, and the Lord heard me, not just with ears, but with his heart. The Lord heard me in dark days, in cold nights, in hours when the world seemed silent in the face of my pain. The Lord heard me when no one else could understand what I was going through. And today, once again, I trust that your heart is attentive to mine. That even when I cannot put into words all that I feel, your spirit interprets the groans of my being. Today is the day the Lord lifts me out of the pit of despair. Today is the day the Lord sets my feet upon the rock, not on sinking sand, not on illusions or empty promises, but on the firmness of your truth, on the security of your faithfulness, on the certainty that I am not alone. I have a God who sustains me. The God who saved me yesterday is the same one who lifts me today with hands of mercy. There is no mistake of mine too great to push your love away. There is no scar that your touch cannot heal. There is no confusion that your light cannot dispel. You save me every day, Lord, not just from visible dangers, but from inner abysses. You rescue me from dark thoughts, old guilt, fears that paralyze me. You give me back my life when I forget how to breathe in peace. You call me by name when I feel invisible. And that is salvation, that is grace, that is real love. You put a new song in my mouth, a hymn of praise to my God. Even in the midst of battles, even without seeing all the answers yet, there is a new sound within me, a sound that comes from heaven, a sound that doesn't depend on circumstances but on your presence, a praise that springs from the certainty that you are with me. And even if the storm continues, you are my calm. Even if the ground still trembles, you are my security. Even if I cry, you wipe my tears with care. So, Lord, teach me to sing even when my heart is wounded. Teach me to praise even when there are no applauses, no understanding, no guarantees. Let my praise be my resistance, my surrender, my living faith. No knot in my soul is too big for you to untie with your faithful love. You know every inner tangle, every memory that still hurts, every attachment that needs to be released. You see the dark places no one enters, the traumas that still affect me, the fears that still hold me back. And with divine patience, with the care of father and mother, you begin to loosen the knots, one by one, in your time, in your way. You don't force me to change in haste, but guide me with love. You heal me without judging my weaknesses. You free me with gentleness. And that is why today, once again, I surrender. I surrender to the God who sees me, who hears me, and who rescues me every time I cry out. I throw myself into your arms, Lord, because they are safe arms. I rest in your gaze because you see all of me. I open myself to your voice because you call me with love. You do not leave me without direction. You do not leave me without answers, even if they come little by little. You do not leave me in the hands of chance, because my life is in your hands. And even when I do not understand your ways, I trust in your heart. Each morning I remember that the Lord is my ever-present help and my unshakable refuge. When the world demands too much, when responsibilities overwhelm me, when the news disturbs me, I run to you and I find shelter. I find calm. I find meaning. I don't need to pretend I'm strong when I'm weak, because before you, I can be real. Before you, I don't need masks. Before you, I can be just a heart. You accept me like this, imperfect, yet in progress. And that gives me peace. God does not abandon me to shame or forgetfulness. He lifts me up with honor and compassion, even when the world tries to erase me. Even when people judge me for who I once was, the Lord looks at me with eyes of future, with eyes of promise, with eyes of restoration. You don't define me by my failures, but by your intentions. You call me child when I feel lost. You honor me with your love when everything around me rejects me. And that changes everything. That gives me courage to start over. That restores the dignity that life tried to steal. Instead of lament, today I choose to nestle my heart in the promises of the Most High. Today I decide not to feed despair. Today, I choose not to give fear a stage. Today I choose to embrace your word as my shelter, your promise as solid ground, your presence as direction. Because in you, there is living hope. In you, there is a promise that never fails. In you, there is a way even where no road appears. In you, there is healing for pains no one understands. And I believe this with all my being. My God is the one who works wonders. He moves in the hidden places and manifests at the right time. Even when everything seems still, I know you are at work, because your silence is never absence. It is preparation. It is care that does not rush. It is love that builds from within before showing on the outside. And in the right time, everything is revealed, everything blooms, everything aligns. Even if I don't understand it now, I rest in your sovereignty. Even if many problems surround me, even if anguish comes from all sides and answers seem far away, I take a deep breath and remember, the Lord is here. You are greater than my pain, stronger than my limitations, wiser than my questions. When everything seems confusing, you bring clarity. When the world squeezes me, you widen the path. You are the God who enters the most hidden corners of the soul and transforms what once seemed irreversible. You wipe the tears no one sees and smile when I believe again. You are the God who writes beauty even in the darkest chapters of my story. You waste no tear, no silence, no waiting. Everything serves your purpose. Everything fits within your sovereignty. That's why, even in chaos, I rest, because I know you are taking care of me perfectly. This morning, my heart rises like a living song. Not because everything is solved, but because you are with me. My praise doesn't come from the absence of struggles, but from the certainty of your constant presence. You are the breath that sustains me, the flame that does not go out even when the winds of adversity blow. You are the peace that does not depend on circumstances, the foundation that does not shake before bad news. My heart sings because it has found refuge. It sings because even on dark days, your light never fails. You are my shelter, my rest, my source of life. And if I have you, I have everything. Even if the world fails me, even if everything is shaken, I stand firm in you, because you remain, and that is enough. I will not be seduced by easy ways out, nor by shortcuts that lead away from truth. I won't put my trust in pretty words without roots, nor in human promises that fade with time. My hope is not in resources, but in your care. My confidence does not rest in outcomes, but in your presence throughout the process. Even if the road seems longer, even if my feet grow tired, I know the path you prepare is safe. I know that where you are, there is purpose. I won't follow the crowd, I'll follow your spirit. even if it leads me to places of confrontation, of silence, of surrender, because I know every step with you is worth it, and the journey with you, no matter how hard it seems, will always lead to the right destination. Happy is the one who trusts in you with all their heart. Happy is the one who chooses your path, even when it is narrow. Today I choose what sets me free, not what hides the pain. I choose the truth that heals, not the illusion that numbs. I choose to walk in the light, even if it exposes my flaws, because I know that in the light there is restoration. Even if the truth confronts me, I know it rebuilds me. Even when heaven feels distant, I look to it with faith, knowing that one day I will clearly see all that I now understand only through hope. What is eternal is worth more than what is temporary. What comes from you is worth more than anything else. I know, my God, that what you expect from me is not empty gestures or pious appearances. You want my whole heart, even if it's wounded. You want my surrendered soul, even with doubts. And today, I come just like that, without masks. I come with my truth, with my flaws, with my sincere desire to be transformed by your love. I offer you my life, not as a trade, but as a response to your grace, because all that I am is yours. And even if I don't have much to give, I know your love embraces every fragment of me and turns it into something new. Dwell in me, fill my silences, restore my intentions, seal my heart with your presence. Today, as I wake up, I remember that I am not accepted because of merit, but because of love. Your grace holds me, not because I deserve it, but because you chose to love me even before I existed. This love doesn't run out when I fail. It doesn't back away when I doubt. It doesn't vanish when I drift. It remains steadfast, faithful, eternal. And today I return to that love. I return not in fear, but in hope, not in guilt, but in confidence. Because I know there's always room for me in your heart, and that is what sustains me. Even when pain screams loudly, even when anguish steals my breath, I choose to declare that you are good. Because your goodness doesn't depend on how I feel. Your faithfulness doesn't waver when my faith is weak. You remain. And even if my eyes cannot see, my soul believes. Even if I cry, I choose to trust. Because I know you are leading me through higher paths. I know every tear is seen, every cry is heard, and not a single prayer is lost before you. My song this morning is a seed of hope sown into heaven. It rises from the memory that you heard me. You saved me. You still lead me today. And this is not just about me. It's about everyone who seeks you sincerely. You show no favoritism. You ignore no genuine cry. And if you did it for me, I know you will do it for everyone who is calling on you now. All it takes is an open heart. All it takes is to call your name in faith. Because you always respond, you always come. Lord, do not withhold your mercies from me. Let them be my invisible shield against evil. Let your truth wrap around me like a cloak of protection. Let your love guide me in every uncertain step. Let your voice be louder than my fears. Let your spirit be more present than my inner battles. Guard me inside and out. Uphold me when I'm weak. Lift me when I grow weary, and never let me forget who you are. Today, I rise in faith. Faith not in what I can see, but in what you have promised. Faith that doesn't depend on signs, but on your word. Faith that walks through the night, waiting for the dawn. The good work you started in me will not be stopped. No storm can cancel what you've already decided to do. No detour, no delay, no stumble can undo your plans. I trust, I wait, I give thanks, because even without understanding everything, I know you are in control, and that is enough. May this morning be the restart of all that was postponed, lost, or wounded. A new beginning starts now. In your name, amen. With hearts warmed by this prayer inspired by Psalm 40, we close this sacred moment with the assurance that God is still caring for every step, hearing every cry, and faithfully sustaining those who trust in Him. May this morning be marked by renewed hope, courage to keep going, and peace to rest your heart. Even when everything feels uncertain, always remember, the same God who lifted you out of the pit of despair is the one who sets your feet on solid rock every single day. He does not delay, forget, or give up on you. On the good days and the hard days, His presence remains, constant, faithful, loving. You are not alone. There is divine care moving silently and invisible strength holding you with tenderness. All of heaven leans in when someone calls out sincerely, and today, heaven heard you. If this prayer spoke to you, share it with someone else who also needs comfort and direction. Let's spread faith, restore hearts, and remind the world that there is still hope in God. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and continue walking with us on this spiritual journey. Every day, we have a new encounter with God's heart, and it will be a joy to meet you here again.